Alright, you guys have been asking for it. Hapymaher. I just finished Chrono Clock, and you guys are already trying to pawn me off to another Purple Software game, so here it is. I'm gonna play it. I know you all are excited about it, so hopefully I'll enjoy it as well. Anyways, let's go ahead and start here. By the way, I really do like the music for the opening. Okay, well, perfect. I'll leave it all to you. I think that's what I want. I'm always scared of someone thinking they know better than me. For myself, that is. I mean, I prefer to do it myself if I can. Really are such a hassle, huh? Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, I can't help it. It was an ornate-looking room. Oh gosh, please don't let there be something lewd within the first 5 minutes of the game, because I know there's going to be, and I'm not ready for it, okay? In the center, a table large and wide. On it were steaming pots of tea and various colored sweets. A hand-woven rug was spread across the floor, and a soft, fluffy sofa was available for visiting guests. This was a place that felt like it was always ready for a tea party. The room was something that you would see in a dream, but also looked elaborate enough that you would think it was someone's idea of a prank. The flamboyant array of black, whites, reds, and purples, pinks, and blues that decorated the room were like the colors on a butterfly. Despite being decorated as if it were something from the house of a noble, the color scheme made the room look garish, almost embarrassingly so. And in the inside of the room was the only thing that felt strange. Outside the window, the land was so lush and overgrown with greenery that it more resembled a botanical garden than a boundless forest. The only light that came from the moon and stars circling the sky, and even that was mostly obstructed by the overgrown trees in the forest. Fat trees, thin trees, flowers in full bloom despite it being nighttime, and even an overgrown hedges, vines, and ivy and leaves. The area outside the room was overflowing with greenery that almost looked as if it had been tended to for hundreds of years. Why do I get the feeling that this is going to be the most normal part of the game? Like, oh yeah, we're just talking about this rich mansion, you know, this is normal compared to everything else that's going to happen. I'm getting that foreshadowing vibe right now, that something is going to happen. But everything in the room looked brand new. An air of serenity filled the room, giving it a sense of life you'd only expect to find in the depths of a deep, dense forest. I will say I did watch a little bit of one of the videos that plays if you stay on the menu for a while. Just to kind of get a feel for some of the characters. Definitely a different vibe from Chrono Clock, that's for sure. This is, I don't know, it almost feels a little bit more mature, I guess I would say. A little bit more lewd, possibly. We're gonna see about that one. Unfortunately, I don't think there is any clean, censored version. Not that Chrono Clock was that clean anyways. There was freaking nudity in the Steam version, but you know. Suddenly, a shadow appeared in the room. Roses, which were not among the flowers outside, began to bloom as though to envelop the encroaching darkness. Okay. The roses grew and grew, almost as if they were something from a time-lapse video recording, all the while releasing their sweet, lightly roasted honey fragrance. Okay, that's very descriptive. Lightly roasted, sure. Black tea, roasted honey, and freshly baked pastries. Oh, that sounds good. These fragrances mingled with the smells of the dense forest and reached out across the room like a pool of water spreading across the floor. Oh gosh, I have a feeling this is someone we don't want to be involved with. Slowly, the shadow took the form of a girl who stood there as if she'd been there all along. Standing in the center of the patch of roses, she giggled. It's okay if you don't. I mean, I can just leave. She murmured with a tinge of both happiness and regret in her voice. Oh gosh, what am I getting myself into here? Got a little opening video, okay. Purple Software. Hapymaher. I don't even know what this is about. Chrono Clock, you can kind of infer, oh, it's about clocks, right? But I see little clocks in this too. I'm like, is this gonna be something like that? I really like this song, though. I will say that. I'm probably gonna have to censor this, unfortunately. But okay. Yep, already very lewd. Okay, she has a gun? A little scared. Okay, very lewd. It's like, how can they show that? Oh gosh, more clocks. There's always more clocks. And she has a similar clock to Chrono Clock. Okay, I can definitely see the purple software in here because it has a very similar art to it. I am kind of looking forward to a more mature experience, though. That's for sure. I feel like that's kind of what Chrono Clock was missing. It's just a little bit more maturity, a willingness to go a little bit further with ideas. They just kind of threw very lewd stuff in there, and I feel like they could have done it in a more like darker way, I guess. I have a feeling that I'm gonna get that from this, so you know, if that's what happens, then I'm down for it. But I'm probably just gonna get a bunch of lewd stuff in the meantime. Okay, what happens after that? Chapter 1, The Dreaming Realist. Okay. I dreamed again today. That's good. Uh, it's normal to dream, so that doesn't really surprise me. Before I knew it, I was lying in a forest in the middle of the night. Why am I having this dream again? Ooh, we have a moving CG. Wasn't like complaining about it would do anything good. I picked myself up and walked and walked and walked through the forest of my dream. In this dense forest, the light of the moon and the stars shining through the trees was the only light I had. It's very interesting. We're getting this very abrupt change of scenery from the beginning where we were in that dining hall. But now here we are in a dream. I don't know. Very interesting. They're doing a lot of kind of keep you guessing things. Even though there was no sign of anyone but us in the forest, and even though it was deathly quiet, I still felt as though we weren't alone. Whether it was beasts, birds, people, or maybe even ghosts. I didn't know what it was, but I felt its presence. I tugged on the hand I was holding and walked around, trying to escape the forest. I came closer to catching my feet on protruding rocks and almost tripped on buried rocks. Oh, on protruding roots and almost tripped on buried rocks. But still, I walked without releasing the hand of the one who silently followed me. I knew this was a dream. Dreams are obvious to me now. And this was the dream of something from the past. Even if it was a memory of something that really happened, what I was seeing right now was nothing but a dream. Meaning that all I was seeing was meaningless. It was all just a dream. It was almost painful how aware of this I really was. Yet, no matter how sure I was that I was doing was pointless, I found myself unable to release the hand I was following. It's alright. Let's go back together. This was neither an answer nor any... There was neither an answer nor any sign of a nod, but I didn't release the hand I was holding. I knew what was going to happen after this. I had the dream many times before. I didn't even know how to get out of this forest. It was dark and I didn't even know which way was which, but I knew I could get out. But, maybe we can go back. I changed directions from that moonlight that was coming now from the opposite direction. The dense foliage started to thin in the way a forest does when nearing the edge. Younger, smaller trees became more prominent as the light shining through them grew brighter. Let's go back. This time for sure. Together. My legs were shaking and I couldn't tell if my voice was making any sounds, but I could plainly feel the hand that I held. You know what's going to happen after this. Stop it already. I could hear my mind screaming to myself, but still, I wanted to try. It's just a dream. There's no point in giving up just because it's a dream. At least let me do this in my dreams. Step by step, we walked. If we could get out of this forest, then we could get back. The light grew stronger. Our surroundings became brighter. And the moment I stepped out of the forest, the hand I held disappeared. Why? Why? I knew this would happen. I was the only one who could come out of that forest. We could never leave together. Why? You gave up, you know that, right? You should have known that you were the only one who gets to come back. It took a long time for you to understand, and you caused a lot of trouble for everyone, but you knew this was what happened, right? But even so, besides, even if we came back together in the dream, it's not like she would actually come back, right? It was just a dream. I would just be lying to myself. Nothing would change no matter how well I recognized that dream as a dream and wouldn't have any effect on reality. In the end, it was no more than just a dream. I just couldn't come back with her. Okay. Are we gonna, like, bend reality? Are we gonna, like, go back and, like, undo the past? Ah, ah, ah. Like a rusty toy, I could hardly move. The only thing that woke me up was my consciousness. I always ended up like this after having that dream. Forcing my creaking limbs to move, I reached for that which should have been next to my pillow. With a clatter, my alarm clock, a book I'd left there, and a portable game console fell to the floor. I couldn't find what I was looking for. Oh gosh, we have another sister character. No, no, it's gonna be another lewd scene. I just know it. I heard a calm, unassuming voice and felt the gentle touch of fingers across my face as just showed glasses were placed on my face. The cold touch of the frame, the slight sight of the world through those clear prescription-less lenses finally calmed my breathing. The sensation of my glasses were like soft fingers reaching from my face to my ears. A sense of relief flowed through me as though I was being thawed from a block of ice. It wasn't just my body, but my mind as well. Now I could finally take a moment and look around. Is this the voice of Makoto? Oh, thank goodness. Nothing immediately, like, super lewd. I mean, this position, she's kind of honest, is a little bit lewd, but I'm more than okay with that compared to everything that's happened before, okay? The girl who had put her glasses on me was sitting in my bed looking down at me. Unlike the voice I heard earlier, this was a gentle morning greeting, full of feeling. Her butt was completely resting on my legs, and to be honest, she was heavy enough that I couldn't move. What's up with these sister characters being overpowering? So, Saki, I couldn't move because you were sitting on me. I was doing my best to sound tough, even though I was only able to calm down because Saki had put my glasses on for me. That of embarrassment and cowardice, and mostly because my pride as a man wouldn't let me depend on her any further, I acted tough. Would you guys say the voice is a little, quiet? Should I turn that up? I want to make sure like you guys can hear the voices. I know the voices are important. Said Saki nonchalantly, but she didn't make any effort to get off my legs. In the meantime, as my breathing relaxed, she looked down at me with a pleasant, almost happy expression on her face. What? Is that better? Hopefully that's not too loud. No, don't say it. Please don't say it. After brushing away the hair that was sticking to my forehead, my hand came away with more sweat than I expected. My hand was moving again, so I slowly clenched and opened it to make sure, but now I probably would be able to move my body too. Saki, get off my legs. I need to get up. Gosh, always the sister character trying to do stuff with us. I'm not sure if I can say that word. Is YouTube gonna get mad if I do? It didn't seem proper for her to be sitting on a guy's legs while wearing a skirt. As I worried, she teasingly shifted more weight on my legs. Yeah. She was as light as her figure let on, but still, it wasn't like she was made out of feathers or cotton, so she was fairly heavy, though she had the softness you would expect of a girl. Also, Saki, why did you come in without permission again? Trying to distract myself from that softness, I tried to change the mood. Yes, because you always have one motive in mind, okay? And so I don't want you coming in here for that. I'd expected that response, so I gave a small sigh. I was currently living on my own. In other words, I was living separately from Saki. I guess the bigger issue would be that even though she calls me Nissan, she's not really my little sister. Ah! In fact, she's not even my stepsister, half-sister, or sister whom I was estranged from a young age. We have absolutely no familial connection. Perfect! So we can get together. Okay. I feel a lot better about that. In other words, she's a self-proclaimed sister. Oh, and also she has nothing to do with one of those cafes where the maids apparently call you Oni-chan. Darn. There goes my plans. Simply put, Saki and I were childhood friends. At some point, she became like a little sister to me, and that's why she calls me that. Yeah, she's just a little sister that'll suck my dick, you know? That's what... Totally normal. Plus, it's not like I have any sort of aversion towards being called Nissan. Oh, what is this? I have options. I didn't need to do this. Apparently, if I hold down the mouse button, I can get those. Good to know, I guess. No matter how long we had been childhood friends, it didn't change the fact that she wasn't actually a part of my family, but instead the lovingly raised only daughter of the Hasuno family. I have learned from Chrono Clock that their families do matter in these games. It didn't feel right for a girl like that to march in the apartment of a man living on his own in the morning and sit on him in bed. Saki giggled from atop my legs. It was because we had known each other for so long that she was just acting tough and that I was trying to hide something. Actually, what's so fun about it for you? I wanted her to move, but I didn't have the courage to move my legs in the way to incentivize her to move. That would make it seem like we were doing something indecent. Yeah, because this definitely doesn't imply indecency right here. Like, look at this. Anyways. She used to be so straightforward and cute. How did she end up like this? Whose fault was this? If you actually asked me that, I would have to say that it was mostly, if not entirely, responsible for it, so I only had myself to blame. I was the kind of person who knew when I was dreaming and remembered those dreams when I woke up. Apparently those were called lucid dreams. I thought lucid dreams are mostly where you can kind of like... Okay, I really... That literally looks like Michiru. It's so close. Anyways, return to game. I gotta stop holding down the freaking mouse. I thought lucid dreams were more of like being able to like control and dictate what happens in your dreams, not necessarily that you remember them. I guess you would remember it if you controlled it, but I don't know. I mean, I guess it just maybe means you have a more active role in it. But even if I knew it was a dream, it's not like I became omnipotent, nor could I just wake up if I didn't like the dream. Saki and I have known each other for a long time, so she knew this was how I dreamed. And because we've known each other for so long, she knew about my chronic nightmares. But I haven't had that dream recently, so I told her if I told her I was having it again, I would only worry her. Nothing special, just a slightly bad dream. It was scary, but what was really scary wasn't the fact that I was lost in the forest. The true nightmare came after I left the forest. In other words, the reality I was experiencing right now is part of why that nightmare bothers me as much as it does. I'm really curious to know who he lost. Did he lose an actual sister? Because I'm assuming it's not Saki, because Saki's not his sister, and I don't think he would have to worry about that. It was a reoccurring reminder that I was the only one who came back, or so I thought. Even though I had this dream dozens of times, this time I had heard a voice that had never been there before. An unfamiliar woman's voice just said something that scared me, that's all. Then what if you were able to come back together? It scared me to think about that possibility. What would happen if I were just to come back together in my dream? I would surely... I wasn't lying, but Saki didn't look convinced. Squinting ever more, and with her eyes never leaving my face, she put more of a weight onto me. Hey, Saki. Oh, she's getting closer. She shifted her position such that her hips were now also being held down beneath her skirt. Because you're coming off too strong, okay? I want a woman that wants me to chase her a little bit, you know? I don't want a woman that's so domineering. It's a dream, don't ask for the impossible. Yeah, if I wanted to, but I haven't even seen any of the other girls yet. I need to make sure that they're not more worthy of being in my dream instead. Saki leaned into me. Our bodies were practically on top of each other now. Nice. She was so close I could hear her breath, even though her uniform, I could tell how soft her body was. I don't know why people always say that. Okay, I was just about to ask, when is the scent part gonna come in? Because I'm playing the Leyline series, and the MC, of course, just went to immediately smelling a girl as soon as he had the chance to. It happens in every game I play now. I have to point it out. They always mention that, like, oh, I smelled her. She smelled nice. She must be her shampoo or something. Like, they always mention it. But with her elbow on my chest, it was painful and hard to breathe. Plus, my body was close to reacting to Saki's touch and scent, making things even worse. I don't know if Saki was aware of that or not, but she probably was. Regardless, she tapped my cheek with the fingers of her free hand. Well, stop calling me Nissan and maybe I'll think of you as something other than my sister. Saki, just move already, okay? As I spoke, I forcefully pushed Saki off of me. I didn't know what I was thinking, but I broke out in a cold sweat. After I pushed her away, she slid off the bed with an offended look on her face. As for me, I sat up, hiding that which had gotten a little excited. Well, it's okay. She's not our sister, so I'm not offended by it at all. Like, okay, it's the morning, you know, you got stuff going on, it's normal. Just then the alarm clock on the floor went off. Saki lifted it up, turned off the alarm, and placed it back by my bedside. Yeah, Ohio. With that, Saki smiled resignedly. I saw her smile like this a lot. Gosh, she just reminds me of Michiru. I'm sorry, I just can't see anything other than Michiru. Even the little portrait looks like her, but I digress. I washed my face and brushed my teeth. I will say the music in this game is a lot different vibe. It's kind of ominous, I would say. Like there's a little bit of a mystery to it, like it's building up to something. I don't really know what the plot of this is at all. I've literally not read anything about it. You guys just recommended it to me. You said it's from Purple Software, the same people who made Chrono Clock. I'm like, okay, sure, I'll play it. Why not? I didn't like the feeling of my night sweats clinging on me, but I didn't have the time to take a shower. If Saki weren't here, I would have been able to take a quick one, but considering her presence, that was impossible. I wouldn't wander around my apartment naked or in underwear like I did when I was alone. Oh yeah, just do it in front of me, Nissan. Who cares? It's just me, your sister. You should have to worry about it a little yourself. And how many times I have to tell you not to come to your without permission? Yeah, I have a girl hiding under the sheets, so. Saki's voice became slightly grumpy with a tinge of jealousy. What's wrong is the girl and her brother aren't related by blood, and that the brother lives here all alone. The only response Saki had was to smile faintly, as if to say that I was an idiot for perceiving this as a problem. Not by blood, so I wouldn't even say that. I mean, unless we're doing a really kinky roleplay. Well, that's true. There were reasons I couldn't deny that, and they were mainly my fault. I'm sure he could be convinced. I have no interest in us doing it. Apparently Saki was fine with that too. She clearly refused to pay heed to what I was trying to say. Even if I really did have a sister, I don't think I would have any desire to do anything with her. The real reason I was interested in Saki wasn't because she was my sister, but she pretended to really play up the role so things felt awkward. Even if I did make a move on my self-proclaimed sister childhood friend, it's not like I would be the same as hitting on my real sister. It'd only be a matter of childhood friends becoming lovers. In short, it'd be something that has been repeated millions of times all over the world. The problem would mostly be that the people around them react to the relationship. No, it's nothing. By the way, Saki, I haven't seen Takahara-san lately. Has she said anything? What do you mean, I wonder? I just wanted to be reassured by her answer, but instead it just made me more nervous. Would you guys say the background noise is... I'm talking to you like you can hear. I'm gonna turn it down. I just want it down a little bit. I'm gonna turn it down here, and like I said, this is just gonna be an episode where I have to figure things out as far as sound. But I just feel like it's a little bit loud, at least for me. I'm not ready to die yet. Those were the words that popped into my head. Takahara-san was Saki's caretaker, her chaperone, and her big sister figure. So not an actual sister either. Why is everyone say they're a sister but not? If you're wondering why Saki had someone like that, it's because her family owns a prestigious company and her father happens to be the president. That seems to be another theme that's carrying over from Chrono Clock. Prestigious families. And I freaking turned this thing on again. I don't know how I do it. I don't know how I did it. No, I don't want auto mode on. Asano Security Services, in other words, a private security firm, and well, there's no need to get into that right now. I was more afraid of Takahara-san than I was of Saki's father, the president of the company. Gosh, how did I turn on... I don't want auto mode. Disable that. Uh, Saki, why did you have Takahara drop you off when you just come into my apartment anyways?
何か問題があるの？普段はどうせなら車で送り迎えしてもらえって言ってるくせに。
Saki blinked, seemingly genuinely confused. If this was a trap meant to snare me, I was extremely affected as she was doing it unaware. As if she was doing it unaware, it was downright frightening.
朝ごはん食べて学校行かないと。お茶入れておくから、その間に着替えておいてね。
Could go for some breakfast. Okay, I'm gonna turn it back up a little bit. I wanted to, like, still be able to hear it, but I don't want it, like, overpowering, you know? Fine. Though it was rather big, well-structured, and well-furnished, it was still a one-room apartment. There was no doors to hide behind when changing or coming out of the bath. But then I'd known Saki for long enough that there didn't seem to be any point in being like, I'm embarrassed to change in front of Saki, so I'm going to the bathroom. But if our places were reversed, I would definitely wait outside. The tea was the usual green tea, but since it was just a tea bag, I wasn't sure even Saki would be able to make it. My body already started feeling heavy, so I grabbed my uniform from where it hung. I reflected belatedly on how it got cold in the winter. This is a very interesting opening to the game, a lot different than I expected. It's very subtle. I wouldn't say slow, just subtle. It's slowly easing me into something, which is probably better that it does that actually. But it's clearly hinting at something bigger is gonna happen. I think maybe by the end of the episode, we'll probably see what exactly that is and get an idea of what the game's gonna be like. I'll keep playing. The daughter of the president of a fairly large company, a young lady that's treated like a princess in her own home. Saki, who could have led the sort of life in which she would have never needed to hold a knife, was now drinking that cheap tea she had made from a tea bag with water she had boiled like any average individual. Yeah, that's like the only tea like I really ever drink. It's just like the bag stuff, and I can tell you it's not great. I'm sure if I like put more effort into it and used actual loose tea leaves, it'd be a lot better. On the table were onigiri and sandwiches she had bought at a convenience store. Without even touching them, she blew on her steaming tea while watching a talk show on the TV. I must have had an unhappy look at my face as I looked at her as I fixed my collar.
朝から相変わらず不景気な顔してるんだから。言いたいことがあるなら言ってちょうだい。
Even without makeup, the face she had inherited from her mother was pretty refined. Her strong-willed gaze was, without a doubt, something from her father. To be honest, even her school outfit looked out of place on her. Something a little bit more traditionally Japanese, like a kimono, would have suited her far better. It still felt odd to me for a girl like that to be hanging out in my apartment like this. Actually, considering how it still felt odd even after we've known each other this long, I'll probably never get used to it. No, I've got nothing to say, nothing at all. Thanks for the food. There would be no point in saying it. I sat down next to Saki and reached for an onigiri. Saki gave me an unsatisfied look as she grabbed a sandwich and began to unwrap it. She was leaving it for me to pour the hot water for my own tea, but whatever. Convenience store onigiri could be eaten cold, but the fact that we were now well into the winter made me wish for something warmer. Not to be rude after you bought this for me, but cold food from a convenience store for breakfast isn't very invigorating, is it?
わからなくもないけれど。だったら兄さんはどんな朝ごはんがお望みなのかしら？
Probably something a little bit heated up. I mean, I don't feel like it's probably as common in Japan for them to have microwaves or things like that, so they probably kind of just nuke it real quick. I thought for a moment as I chewed and then swallowed my kombu onigiri. I guess the ideal would be waking up to a breakfast made by my cute little sister. An innocent look remained on her face as Saki elegantly munched away at her
そういっ
sandwich.
たロマンで言うなら、一人暮らしの男の人って料理にこだわったりするんじゃないかしら？
Hey, don't ruin my fantasy, okay? This is my fantasy. Let me have it the way I want it. That's an ideal too, I suppose. We both understood that these were only ideals, so we accepted the reality before us with neither hopes nor any complaints. I had been living on my own for almost 2 years, but I hadn't gotten any better at cooking. Saki never cooked unless she felt like it because there was no need. Practically, there wasn't any need for Saki to be here eating a convenience store breakfast with me either. I think everybody should know how to cook a few meals. Like, don't just eat out all the time, okay? It's more expensive to do that, and it's just generally less quality. I feel like it's so much better to just make food yourself, and it also just tastes better because you're like, hey, I made this. We continued to eat as we watched a morning variety show that broadcasted pointless news stories and treated even important news as if it didn't matter.
そうね。兄さんがどうしてもって言うなら、朝ごはんを作れる程度の練習はするけど。
Yeah, and if you're gonna insist on being a little sister to me, at least make me some meals. Do sisterly things. Nah, it's okay. You do enough for me. Saki said okay and then turned her attention back to the TV. It was a tabloid report about some celebrity breakup or something. You know, Saki, you don't have to go through the trouble of keeping me company in the morning. This was my gentle roundabout way of telling her not to come
嫌
anymore.
よ。それに本当に私に気を使うなら朝からうちでご飯を食べてほしいって言ってるじゃない。
By home, she probably meant her home rather than my parents' house. There would be plenty of company employees there, so I'd probably be welcomed in without a hitch. There's something wrong with your definition of home.
今さら何を遠慮してるの？
Wasn't that I was being shy. Besides, I want to sleep as late as possible. How else would I have to? How early would I have to wake up in order to get to your place and eat
あら、
breakfast?
寝てたら寝てたでうなされてるくせに。だったらいっそ早く起きてもいいじゃない。
Hey, don't fight me with facts and logic here, okay? That's true, but still. My sleep was different from an ordinary person's. I figured that since there's no way for my mind to get any rest, then maybe I should just get the bare minimum of sleep that my body needs and be awake the rest of the time. Is this just gonna be a game about dreams? Like, are we gonna, like, isekai ourselves into another world through a dream? I feel like that's kind of where we're heading, because I've seen some of the other characters, and they look very out of fit for regular Japan. So, I'm not really sure what's gonna happen here. Are we gonna be, like, dream walking? We're gonna do, like, Inception? We're gonna go into a dream inside a dream? Who knows? We're gonna find out. Well, that's not the problem at hand here. That was close. I almost set myself up for a course that would end with me having breakfast at the Hasano estate. Even if I agreed as a joke, she probably wouldn't let me take it back later.
何も問題はないと思うけど。
Of course there's a problem. Seriously, just having Saki coming to my apartment was steadily becoming a serious problem. We were already a little too familiar for each other. The barriers of modesty between us were coming apart. Thinking about this suddenly made the onigiri seem saltier.
そうだ。朝起きるのが辛ければ前の日からうちに泊まればいいんじゃないかしら。
No. No, don't agree with it. She has ulterior motives. If I spent the night at Saki's house, then I wouldn't have to wake up that early and breakfast I could. Wait, wouldn't that even be more of a problem? What are you thinking? But as usual, Saki just giggled, offering no response. Yeah, that was a total bait, my guy, and you just freaking fell for it. We finished breakfast and drank our tea. As usual, I was dead tired first thing in the morning. It's okay. We all are. Or at least normal human beings usually are. Dragged my heavy body out of the apartment and locked the door. You're not forgetting anything, are you?
ないわよ。
Saki replied, bag in hand. I started walking while holding my own. We took our usual route to school. You really don't have to keep me company so often. If you didn't bother with me, you could have a more relaxing morning, couldn't you? It wasn't every day, but Saki came to my apartment regularly. Sometimes she snuck in before I woke up, and other times she showed up while I was getting
あ
ready.
ら、だったらあんなにうなされないようになってから言ってくれる？
Well, I don't really control those, okay?
兄さんが毎朝あんな風にうなされてるかと思うと心配で寝ていられないのに。
Well, at least one of us can sleep. Ah! I keep doing it! I'm sorry! I don't know what...
兄さんが毎朝。
Okay, we'll just do that, and then I can just skip over. How about that? Sad look crept across Saki's face. It's really only about once a week, you know?
ねえ、兄さん、それって十分多いと思わないかしら？
I do think that's a lot, but I think for some people that's probably just a normal reality. I don't really know if there's a way to, like, undo that. I would maybe say... I mean, therapy? Maybe you have, like, something that happened in your past that was clearly being hinted at, you know, that you probably should take care of. Kind of felt the same way. Yeah, maybe no, but no matter how many nightmares I have, they're just dreams. You don't have to worry
本
about it.
当に安心させたいならうちで寝泊まりしてくれるといろいろ楽だしゆっくりできるんだけど。
I don't know. Like I said, I feel like she's just trying to get us to sleep in her room or something. We'll do when I moved. I'm not going to preload at your house. When I started to live on my own, we talked about me living at the Hasano estate. It was eventually decided that I wouldn't, seeing as they had an adolescent daughter.
だったらせめて私が来た時くらいは一緒に学校に行ってくれればゆっくりできるんだけど。
I couldn't give in to Saki's suggestions. All I wanted was for her to stop coming to my apartment like this. I already told you I can't go to school with you or anything. The anxiety would kill me. But by going to school together, we weren't talking about walking to school together like this. It meant having the aforementioned Takahara-san, Saki's caregiver, drive us to school. When Saki usually went to school, she'd take it easy at home until it was time, then have Takahara-san drop her off. Saki was telling me to hitch a ride with her.
そう、さすがに高原さんも兄さんのことを本気でどうにかしてやるなんて思ってないと思うけど。
I don't know, what would she be doing to us? Why do you say it like that? By the way, Takahara-san loves Saki to death, so she's extremely on guard when it comes to me. Ah, okay, so she's defensive. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. I'm sure that's just because I'm behaving properly. Oh, I'm sorry, did I skip over something? It was sort of a strange rebuttal, but I was trying to be proper in the words. I just wanted to stop Saki from going to my purpose. Okay. I kept that up in front of her no matter what, so it was known that that was what Saki was doing against my will. That was just barely able to be overlooked by Takahara-san. It's strange, normally I would be standing next to Takahara-san saying, we really need to do something about Saki. Why did I have to be seen as an enemy by someone who had the same motives I did?
そんな細かいこと気にしなくていいのに。
No, like, I can relate to this. I had a girl best friend when I was younger, probably like around like 10 or something. And we used to hang out, and all the time we would like have sleepovers, you know, just do whatever because we were kids. And I think there was a certain point where maybe her parents stopped seeing me as like, oh, it's just a friend, you know, like, oh, like he's a boy, and you know, you guys probably shouldn't be sleeping in the same house at night, you know, because it's like you're getting older, you're starting to learn about different things. To be fair, though, I think it was more of a concern about her doing something than me, because I was pretty naive back then. Probably wasn't gonna be me making a move. It was probably her. Actually, Saki, give me back the key. Saki didn't really worry about things like that, and it wasn't out of carelessness. She completely understood, which made things even worse.
嫌よ。
What do you mean, no? It's my key. Didn't even know how many times we'd had this exchange, and Saki's answer was the same as always. By the way, you know the apartment I was living in? Do you think it's too pretty for a student's apartment, even if it's just one room? I always thought so. It's not like my family was wealthy and sent me lots of money, nor was I working hard at a part-time job. It's Saki's family that was wealthy. In other words, that building belongs to Saki's family's company, Hasano Security Services. When I was about to live on my own, I planned on renting a different, cheaper
それ
place.
に返すって誰にかしら？ちゃんと大家に行ってそこから持ってきてるんだから。兄さんにどうこう言われる筋合いはないわ。
Don't you think it's a little bit weird, though, that you can just come into my apartment at any time? Please return to your family. But Saki wouldn't listen to me. I could do nothing but sigh at her as she walked in front of me.
何？いつも通り不景気な顔して。今日はそれ以上かしら。
Oh, well, thanks. That makes me feel better. Hey, lately I've been called young master by people in your family's company. They were half joking, of course, but I still wish they'd stop.
それ、ある意味間違ってないわよね。
They were completely wrong. If someone sees it, they're totally gonna get the wrong idea. There were so many scary-looking people among the employees of Hasano Security Services. Of course, it was a legitimate security firm, for now, and an officially locally based family company. But that was a completely different matter than me being called young master by scary-looking
から
men.
かって遊ばれてるのよ。誰かしら、兄さんを困らせてるのは。
Well, some people don't like it when you take jokes too far. It's like, okay, it was funny the first few times, but, you know, like, can you knock it off? Wait, I know perfectly well that they're joking. Everyone understood, so they tried hard not to cause trouble for Saki outside. A lot of them have helped me out in various ways, but I knew they weren't bad people once you got to know them. But I guess your father is the one who I'm most afraid of hearing that sort of thing. Found myself smiling cynically.
父さん？なんでよ。別に私が兄さんのところに行ってても構わないって言ってるし、親バカなところなんてそんなにないと思ってるけど。
I almost said not on the surface, but I held my tongue. I had once heard her father cheerfully saying, well, if Toru goes too far, I'm sure Takahara will deal with him. Is that her name, Toru? I don't know if we've actually heard it yet, or at least I probably didn't recognize that it was our name, because I'm like, we just keep getting called Nissan. Toru. Okay. I'm used to that from Miss Kobayashi's. I'm used to hearing it as a girl's name, so Toru is going to be a little bit different from a boy, but, you know, it's just like Taylor. You can use Taylor as a girl or boy name, you know, it doesn't matter. I think he was serious. Saki's father didn't normally make jokes like that, so basically my safety was only assured as long as I remained Saki's Nissan. If by some chances we ever ended up in a relationship, I shudder to think of it. Though to be fair, Saki, despite being my non-related sister, was actually quite cute and had been for some time.
一 人の顔を見て露骨にため息をつかれると結構傷つくんだけど。
Well, stop giving me things to sigh about. It's not my
どう
fault.
してそうなるのかしら。せめて理由くらい言ってもよくない？
I don't know, you just have a scary family. No. Not like I could tell her why. I was clearly saying no because the situation didn't leave much room for me to say anything else. But Saki wasn't satisfied, and on the way to school, she kept asking me about it. Naturally, I remained completely silent. Quite the long conversation. I'm just waiting for something to happen. I was really expecting it to happen right away. They've kind of hinted at something possibly happening, but I'm surprised nothing drastic has happened so far. It's like I said, a very subtle opening, which I'm not really used to. After arriving at school, I parted ways with Saki and entered my classroom. The school that we attended, Tsukio Academy, was commonly called an escalator school. It consisted of a main building with 3 grade levels and an annex building with 3 grade levels. Saki was a 3rd year at the annex Tsukio, so the school building she goes to is different from mine. I was a 2nd year at the main building. We entered at the same place, but we went to different buildings, so we parted ways before we got to our shoe lockers. Thanks to that, it was hard for any weird rumors to spring up, even though we walked to school together. Yeah, we're the closest of buds. There was once a time when I thought that too. I'm glad you seem to be happy. Yeah, I'm so happy. 2 idiots strode over. These were my classmates. Wow, okay, what an introduction for them. 2 idiots. Tetsuya and Asahi. Asahi? Ah, I hate this stupid thing. I keep doing it. Is there a way to turn that off? Gesture settings. Can I just straight up disable this? I don't see a button to disable it. I don't have them on. How do I remove this? There we go. We just get rid of them. Don't want them. Get rid of all of these. Yeet. Okay. No, don't discard the changes. I'm not as happy as you two. Oh, are these 2 a couple? Is that why they're 2 idiots? The guy who openly declared his happiness had his embarrassed but happy girlfriend at his side. The idiot lovebirds cheerfully greeted me in the classroom filled with the sound of tongues clicking. Most of the time it was fine, but today was the anxiety from my dreams still on my mind. Just witnessing their high spirits and lovey-dovey behavior made my stomach churn. It's too early in the morning for that, I know. I slipped past them, dropped my bag, and sat down without a word. Oh, I'm sorry, I just totally skipped over his dialogue. Probably should read that. You don't seem to be feeling well. Did you catch cold? Stuff yesterday? Oh, that's our character. We have, like, gray hair. Interesting. We look a little bit more of a Chad than Ray, I'll say that. Mental illnesses were invisible, often remained hidden, but if your mind was tired, it affected you physically the same as your body getting tired. Then even I put on airs saying that. The reality was I was just tired. Alright, I won't. I'm not trying to push myself. I just want to live peacefully in the first place, but my dreams and whatever else wouldn't let me. I pressed against my forehead and sighed. Yeah, you'll get wrinkles. I'm gonna think I was just told that a short while ago. No, I don't have a thing for that. Or do I? I don't know. I can't speak for him. Well, I do a lot. I speak for all the main characters I play. Why would you think that? Nah, she's literally a mid-tier waifu, okay? Tetsuya dragged a classmate sitting nearby into the conversation. I could feel the other guys in the room flinging insults like "good job, sister lover," and "die, Naito." And because he showed interest in another girl, Tetsuya was hit by a low kick from Asahi? I'm gonna pronounce her name Asahi. And dropped to his knees. These guys are a cute couple. I approve. Tetsuya gave a sparkling smile that hinted any hint of an ulterior motive, but what could I say? This guy was too honest.
もうそういうのはみんなの前で言われると照れるよ。
Even though it was winter, my classmates and I made a show of fanning ourselves with notebooks and desk mats. How can it be hot? Is it really that warm in the school? But then, as you could probably tell, Tetsuya was an idiot of a boyfriend. He was also a good-natured guy who could socialize with just about anyone. I didn't think he was that much of an idiot. I mean, I kind of disagree. He just seems like he's a fun guy, and he's kind of outgoing. I mean, that's nothing to, you know, call someone an idiot over. Even though I often looked pretty great, partly because of my dreams, he talked to me unabashedly from the beginning. And thanks to him, I was able to fit in with the class. Taking that into account, I really owed him and honestly thought of him as a friend. Give it a rest, you idiots. Classmates around us nodded. Sometimes I envied those two.
それならトール君もサキちゃんと付き合えばいいのに。
I haven't even seen the other girls yet, though. Just like the other classmates who had just been nodding with me turned into enemies, both genders, mind you.
あんな可愛い子を内藤に？
サキちゃんが内藤君に汚され。
But hey, why are you being so mean?
くそ、あいつも敵か。
You don't even know me.
むしろ内藤君が怪我され。
What does that even mean? How many times do I have to tell you we're brother and sister? At my words, our classmates stopped with their unpleasant mutterings. Saki calls me Nissan at school too, and it would be a pain to explain in detail, so I just said we are siblings. It was painful for them to imagine that our parents might have been divorced or something to that effect, but if it became known that we were really just childhood friends, it could start some bad rumors, which is why I didn't try to explain anything.
だけど恋人みたいに仲のいい兄弟がいてもいいんじゃないかな。
Ah, okay, the incest lover. Asahi and Tetsuya knew about our circumstances and went along with it, but right now they were smiling despite that. It's precisely because they knew that I'd rather they didn't offhandedly say we should go out. Maybe they are, but maybe we're not one of them. For me, being as close as you and Club Prez would be more than enough. Club Prez was the president of the after-school club that I was a member of. She was an upperclassman and Asahi's older sister.
お姉ちゃんと私そんなに仲いいかな。
十分いいと思うけどな。
Well, enough for me and the others around them to think so anyways. It'd be better for both siblings to have a relationship like that. With various feelings behind my words, I murmured. I don't know, I'm liking the cast of characters so far. I would almost say Saki's probably not like my most favorite, but, you know. Then morning classes ended and lunch break began. Before our math teacher was even out the door, the classroom erupted into chaos. Lunch, huh? I didn't have much of an appetite, possibly because of this morning's stream. If I showed even a sliver of that to Saki, she would undoubtedly worry about me, so I had somehow forced myself to eat breakfast. Whether or not Saki noticed was probably 50-50. Because I had pushed myself, I didn't feel the slightest bit hungry now. If anything, I felt like I was going to have a heartburn.
なんだ、まだ辛気臭い顔してんのか？飯だぞ飯。人は温かい飯を食わないと元気が出ないんだぞ。
I'm definitely in that category. I have to eat warm meals. I hear about some people who go weeks without eating a warm meal. I'm like, how do you do that? I can't just eat cold food. Like, food is something I very much enjoy. That's why I put on so much weight. Ridiculous. Yeah, maybe I'm fine, so why don't you go ahead and eat?
本当にいいのか？
I must have not looked good because I could tell Tetsuya was trying in his own way to be considerate, although you'd never be able to tell from his expression. I'm just a little tired, so don't worry about me. Go enjoy lunch with Asahi.
そうか、悪いな。
Alright, you get out of here, champ. He didn't sound sorry at all, but that wasn't something to complain
それ
about.
じゃあ俺はいつも通り朝日の手作り弁当を仲良く食ってくる。
Okay, you don't need to brag, okay?
が、それじゃあお前はどうするんだ？
I don't know, I'm gonna go eat dirt. I'll go buy some bread or something and take it easy. If I stayed here, he probably would have worried about me, so I might end up eating lunch with them. So I stood up even though I didn't feel like it. See ya.
ちゃんと食えよ。
Interesting. We have a very kind of to himself MC is what I'm feeling like. I feel like Toru just kind of does his own thing and it doesn't really like when people get involved, but of course everybody likes to get involved. Without any real response, I half-heartedly waved my hand and left the classroom. I didn't want to worry him though. I needed to get it together. I escaped from Tetsuya, who had no desire whatsoever to actually buy bread. There was no PE in the afternoons and missing a meal wouldn't kill me, so what should I do then? I wanted to avoid the smell of food, so it would be a good place to just hang out. It'd be pretty cold on the roof, so maybe I'd go to the library or somewhere and pretend to read.
内藤君今日は一人なの？
Booyah. That must be the older sister right there. Okay. Yep. Oh, is she the girl that wears the really lewd outfit? Do we like lucid dream and like make her change clothes or something? Is that what happens? Must have not been paying attention because I hadn't noticed that. Someone I knew had approached me. Club Prez. The one standing nearby was my upperclassman, Yayoi B. Lutwidge, the president of the science club where I was a member. Please tell me she has a nickname. I'm gonna have a hard time pronouncing that. Yayoi B. Lutwidge, because that is foreign. So my guess by her name, she was half Japanese. The reason why she was still club president was because she hadn't passed it on to anyone yet, as third years traditionally did. Science club was really just a club where everyone did whatever they wanted, and people who wanted to help helped. Had a loose sense of solidarity. Boobs. Nothing? Yeah. I was just wondering why I didn't know such a conspicuous person approached me. Hey, at least their boobs aren't as ridiculous as freaking Chrono Clock. I mean, they have clothes that like somewhat cover them up, you know, so it's not like it looks super lewd. Her hair, her facial features, her figure, there was nothing about her that was plain. I had gotten quite used to her, but there was no denying that she stood out. Hey, you could just say it, okay? Just tell me, hey, I look like I'm having a bad day. It's fine. More or less. Hey, senpai? She casually put her hand on my forehead, then pressed her forehead against mine. Some nearby girls who saw us squealed, and there were boys who gave us dirty looks. Club Prez, what are you doing? Planned what? Club Prez whispered in a voice only I could hear. Man, this is gonna be another pain. I thought that, but I didn't let it show my face. She could probably tell that was what I was thinking, and her expression didn't change. Oh, yeah. Today would work well. Yeah, please give me a hand. Apparently the scenario for today was that Club Prez was going to be helping me. She could help me with a lot of things. We came up with these sort of stories because she insisted on putting a show of being a mild-mannered individual. Oh, there we go. Now we can see how big the boobs are. Look, she's like literally putting her hand like in between the boobs. They're huge. Same thing as I'm always telling you. When I said that, the edges of my mouth formed into a smile only I could see. It also scared me. Oh boy. That's some interesting classmates, that's for sure. Her full name was Yayoi Bernard Lutwidge. Apparently she has the same name as a famous British author, so her name sometimes gets pronounced as Lutwidge, or in her case it's supposed to be... Okay, so Lutwidge, but in her case it's supposed to be pronounced Lutwidge. Okay, so I kind of was pronouncing it right. Because either way, it wouldn't seem over familiar to call her that, so I usually just called her Club Prez. By the way, she's Tetsuya's girlfriend. Asahi D, Lutwidge's older sister. The aforementioned Oni-chan. Although the hues were different, their dirty blonde hair was their natural hair color. I'm always wondering, is it really okay for us just to use this room even though there are chemicals and things? We were in the science preparation room. I didn't know if it was one of the privileges of being the club president or what, but the club pres had the key, and she used it pretty often during lunch breaks. Yeah, I feel like Japan is a pretty trusting society. It doesn't seem odd to me that they would let the club president kind of like have a key to certain places that other students wouldn't. I mean, maybe the teachers would ask her to like grab something for them or to take care of something, you know. I could see different scenarios. Club president had taken more of a casual way of talking, a stark contrast to the facade she just shown outside, as long as I'm not the one who gets in trouble for it. As I said this, she opened the bento her sister had made. Its contents were the same as the one she made for Tetsuya. Next, I brewed the coffee Club Prez brought using the water I boiled in a flask of a gas burner. Though I was used to this, it was probably a strange sight, especially the part where I wasn't using a coffee maker. You're gonna go bald soon. What a waste that would be. I wonder if that's supposed to be like an underhanded compliment. Where did that honor student-esque reliable senpai countenance from before go? Now that she was a foul-mouthed senpai who just nonchalantly predicted her underclassmen going bald in a completely friendly tone of voice. Well, how about you, Club Prez? If you work too hard on having two faces, anxiety is going to bore a hole in your stomach.
そうかもしれないけど、私の胃がやられるよりトールの胃がやられる方が先ね。間違いないわ。
Okay, thanks. My stomach. It was vexing that I wasn't able to deny it. Coffee smelled good even though I wasn't hungry. I brewed some for myself as well as senpai. So what is it today? You use it as an excuse, so at least tell me why you called me.
うん。勘違いした後輩ちゃんが私にアタックをかけてきてて、面倒だったんでトールを出しに逃げてきました。以上。
Like, physically attacked you or just verbally? He said as though it's nothing as she munched on her potato salad. Poor thing, if only they knew that under the surface you're a woman who delights in trapping people and cackling about it. Incidentally, I've also been trapped more than once. I hated myself for forgiving her, whatever she says.
ごめんごめん。
While flaunting her cleavage and pressing against my arm. I couldn't believe that she used me as a suitable filter for another love affair. Oh great, now that I imagined what was going to happen, my stomach started to hurt.
本当にね。でも、わざわざ夢壊すのもかわいそうでしょ?
Ah, so I'm your scapegoat to get out of relationships. You look like such a good person. Do men get fooled by that? For some reason, I know this side of Club Prez that didn't play the honor student since the beginning. In fact, this was the side I saw the most. If not, I probably wouldn't have been fooled. Oh man, I wanted a beautiful honor student senpai I could have looked up to too.
言っておくけど、その後輩ちゃんって女の子よ。
Oh, she was a girl too. Interesting. Strange silence descended between me and the Club Prez with her single smile. I thought adoration had nothing to do with gender.
そうね。路上で止まってればね。女同士なら男よりもスキンシップ取りやすいものね。
She definitely knows what she has, and she flaunts it, clearly. Maybe I shouldn't have touched on that. What did Club Prez do? I poured some milk and sugar into my coffee and sipped, avoiding the subject. Senpai liked her coffee black. Surprised you could drink coffee while eating rice. Rice and black coffee were an impossible combination in my mind.
そっちこそ、よくご飯と一緒に甘いもの。で、あれ？トール、ご飯は？
Yeah, I don't have a lunch.
あら、買ってきてもよかったんだけど。というか、買ってくる？もうろくに残ってない。
Well, you know, that's nice of you, but don't worry about it. The school store sold out right away, and if it was doubtful whether you could find a seat in the cafeteria. Not hungry, so I wasn't planning on having lunch today.
何ダイエットしてる女子みたいなこと言ってんの？太ったの？
That's a pretty accurate description of it. Not really.
じゃあ何よ。あ、さきちゃんと喧嘩でもした？それでへこんで食欲もないとか。やーねーもう。
Hee hee hee, Club Prez laughed as she grinned like a witch, though it looked good when a beautiful girl did it. Just my physical condition, you know, I have troublesome dreams. Just depression, don't worry about it.
話だけ聞いてる分には楽しそうなんだけどね。
Hypnagogia? Hypnagogia was the state of sleep during which lucid dreaming occurred. By the way, she doesn't look like just like an honor student. She thinks like one too, so she knew lots of weird stuff. If only they were all fun dreams. I did have fun dreams sometimes, but since I wasn't allowed to choose the dreams, they tended to be troublesome overall.
夢とか見たら好き放題できるでしょうに。もしかして疲れてるのってそういうこと？どれでもまあ。
Yep, they were all about you. I told you I don't like to have those dreams because they make me want to die when I wake up having it. Yeah, that would be pretty soul-crushing, waking up realizing none of it was true. Rather, I was forced to confess, under various threats and such. By the way, I haven't even told Saki about the erotic dreams I've had. Those dreams might be fun while I'm having them, but they don't always go the way I want, and when I wake up, I want to die from self-loathing.
でも現実じゃできないことや美人相手にもいろいろできるでしょ？アイドルとか妹ちゃん相手とか私相手とかでも自由自在なわけだし。
What an excessively self-conscious beauty. You think people will let you say anything just because you're pretty?
大丈夫よ。相手はきちんと選んでるから。
Ah, so you choose only people to be around that you can manipulate. That's what I'm hearing. For what? For saying things like this? Oh, and those will let you get away with anything because of your looks. You're terrible, I gotta say.
なん 迷惑かけられたって相手が思わなければ問題ないのよ。トールは私がこういう話をして本当に迷惑かしら？
Maybe. What's with that con artist logic? Not to mention her absolute confidence, I wasn't bothered by the situation. Well, I wasn't bothered, but
あ
still.
ら、損させてるつもりはないわよ。それに普段だって私の見た目に期待されてる通りにしてるだけだもの。
Interesting. So you probably act like a ditzy blonde a lot. Quickly flashed her usual perfect smile.
正直面倒だわ。ハーフだからって珍しがってんじゃないわよ。見た目大人っぽいからってしっかりしてるわけじゃないから。同い年よ、同い年。
She sighed with a languid look on her face that even I rarely had. You do stand out, Club Prez. You can even say that she played the honor student in front of the teachers, too. Wait, how come you don't act so prim and proper in front of me?
だってトールってかぶっててもかぶってなくても扱い変わんないでしょ？
Okay, so you feel like you can be yourself more? Her response was surprisingly nonchalant. I mean, to be fair, I would almost accept that as a compliment, because I feel like it's nice when someone can be their true self around you, and they don't have to put on some act, right? Eh? I don't think that's true. If she had approached me as a perfect honor student from the very beginning, even I might have felt some admiration or love for her. And to make things even worse, it's entirely possible I might have ended up putting a love letter in her shoe locker. Ooh, that would have been funny. But Senpai just narrowed her eyes and murmured. She was neither paying me any heed nor taking me seriously, but why not? I'm a young man overflowing with fantasies too, you know. I'm even forced to realize those fantasies in my dreams. I'm not proud of it as I'm usually more of a pain than it's usually more of a pain.
だってトールって美人相手にデレデレしないで余裕でパン買ってこいって言えるじゃない。
You're just like, go buy me some bread. I get a rule not to trust anyone who calls themselves pretty, even if it is true. Yeah, that's good advice, honestly. I feel like the people that like are really into their looks and like are constantly talking about how nice they are or how good they look, you know, are people that are usually really like conceited. Probably not people you want to be getting into a relationship with, just in my opinion. I go for more humble people, and I like to be around humble people. So it's true that with Club Prez the wording might be different, but I could still say please buy me some
私
bread.
じゃなくてサキちゃんのことよ。
She's my sister, so wouldn't you say that she doesn't count?
実際は幼馴染のくせに。トールが我慢できなくなって押し倒す日が楽しみだわ。
Never.
いつかな。
Won't happen. Club Prez gave a malicious smile, looked like she was really looking forward to it from the bottom of her heart. With a sour face, I sipped out my sweetened coffee. Gosh, can I stop doing this? I'm doing it unconsciously. I'm sorry. Why did Asahi keep quiet about the fact that Saki and I aren't really siblings? Asahi was there when I told Tetsuya about that. I didn't mind if those two knew, but our club prez to find out about me and Saki's relationship through Asahi.
姉妹の絆は偉大なのよ。
Yeah, something like that. Club Prez and Asahi were definitely close, especially since their family moved around a lot, but they were never at the same school for long. They have a very Kyo and Ro vibe from Clannad to me. You know, they're kind of close, and the big sister kind of like maybe a little bit more confident, kind of takes the lead. I mean, I don't think that's uncommon, but when that happens, sisters who are close in age get closer because they end up playing together, or so I've heard. The frightened behavior that Asahi sometimes exhibited made me think of Club Prez's true facade. It probably couldn't be helped.
ほら、何考えてるのよ。
Lewd thoughts. Nothing at all.
それムカつくわね。
Is it working? I'm allowed to counterattack every once in a while. Club Prez grew sullen and stopped complaining. She continued to eat the lunch that Asahi made. The contents of the small bento box disappeared quickly, and I was surprised she could eat so much.
どんなのなのよ。
That was sudden. What kind was what exactly? I thought Senpai had gotten interested again and was going to start talking about something that would wear me down, but her expression was serious.
何って今朝見た夢ってやつよ。もう何年もルシッドドリーム見てるんでしょ。
Well, I've had them for quite some time. To be honest, about half my life. At this rate, I'll probably have to deal with these troublesome dreams until I
だ
die.
ったら付き合い方も慣れてるでしょ。なのにお昼食べたくないとか食欲ないとか。年頃の女の子みたいなこと言うくらいなんだから、よっぽどひどい夢だったんじゃないの？
You're acting a little serious, but you're really just curious about what kind of high-impact dream it was, aren't you? She nodded immediately, so I lobbed some sugar cubes into her coffee.
甘くした。
There we go. You get her. Club president likes sweet coffee, especially when she's eating rice, apparently. It's because you tried to intrude on my trauma. Have you no shame?
ああ、そっちか。もっとこうグロとかバイオレンスが後を引いてると思ってたのに。くそ。
I don't know. We have no idea really what kind of dream it is. It seems like we were walking through a forest with somebody and then they can't come out of the forest with us. It was only just us. She sipped at the sugary coffee with an unhappy look on her face. She didn't really like sweet things, though she had a soft spot for confectionery. She disliked things that weren't originally sweet, that had been made sweet. A little unusual for a girl of her age. But maybe she did feel sorry, since she didn't complain about my retort. She was just strangely compassionate at times, or maybe she actually had some regard for others. She was so hard to judge. I got used to those kind of dreams a long time ago. Having mentioned it, I remembered the dream I had had and felt depressed again. I used to have that dream a lot, but lately I hadn't had it at all.
おい、トール。なんか魂抜けてない？
Probably. Didn't you spend half your life in the West? What's with that really Japanese
任せ
expression?
て。パーフェクトなバイリンガル舐めるんじゃないわよ。
Yeah, could not be me. I hadn't actually heard Club Perez talk in English that often, although her English grades were as good as you'd expect.
どうする？いつもみたいに睡眠薬いるなら分けてあげるけど。
Oh, you deal in sleeping pills. I don't think that's something that you should just be giving out. That sounds like a drug dealer. This was one of the stranger aspects of our relationship. Club Perez had sleeping pills from overseas that you couldn't easily buy in Japan due to pharmaceutical laws or something, and I often wondered if having them was a crime, but since I was benefiting from them, I really couldn't say anything. When my dreams were particularly rough, the pills Club Perez gave me came in handy. I could take some and sleep like a log without thinking about dreams at all.
トールって病院行ってたんでしょ？治ってないんだし、事情話せばこのくらい処方してもらえるんじゃないの？
I could. What I meant was, by what I said before, was that you just couldn't buy them easily over the counter. If you had a prescription for a doctor, then these were readily available. When I first started having these lucid dreams, I did go to the doctor. The symptoms haven't since gone away at all, so I was still having them. I've had this doctor for a long time, so if I said I was having bad dreams, I could probably get these
じゃあどう
pills.
して私の薬を当てにしてんのよ。
Well, at this stage, if people hear that you're seeing a psychiatrist, they tend to think you're mentally unstable. See, I feel like that's the complete opposite in America. Like, if you're going to a psychiatrist or you're going to a therapist or something, people are like, good job on you for taking care of yourself, you know? Like, everyone just assumes that everybody has something, so I think it's a lot more socially acceptable. Maybe in Japan, it's a lot different. Maybe it's, like he says, maybe looked a little bit more down upon, which I don't think should be the case. I don't really agree with people like judging people just because you have mental illness or you have this or that problem. Maybe life's just hard and you need something to kind of help you out. Like, there's no shame in that. Wasn't for me, but rather the people around me who wouldn't know how to react. Let's say you had someone sitting near you in class who said they were seeing a psychiatrist, whether they really had a problem or whether they're a naive idiot who just wanted the attention. I mean, I wouldn't ever assume that someone's that way. When you hear about it, you normally get self-conscious about how to
行
approach
けば
them.
いいじゃない。別にアニメこじらせてたり、仮病ってわけじゃないんだから。
Is that what happens in Japan? You get the chunibios who are going there and actually like, oh, I have this darkness inside of me, and I just can't control it any longer. I need Adderall. That can be taken as a different kind of discrimination, you know? Like, okay, if someone's going there and doing that, just saying dumb stuff to get a prescription, I could understand why that person would look down upon. But there's genuine people who, like, have ADHD and need some kind of prescription, you know? Or they have depression. It's like, I understand that. I grew up with depression. I still have depression in a way. I've been able to manage it better, but it's still there. It's not like it just goes away. Well, it was true that my doctor smiled wryly and said that rich kids sometimes went to counseling for the
と
attention.
りあえず薬いらないんならドーナツは待ってるけど食べれば？
Oh, a donut. I should have something so sweet. What do sleeping pills and donuts have to do with each other? Was this supposed to be my replacement for
例の
lunch?
後輩ちゃんがくれたのよ。何入ってるか知らないけど。
From a little bag, she pulled out something wrapped in a cute little package that wasn't from one of the local chain stores. If it's hair or nails, at worst, they'd be a bit hard to eat. Ha ha ha. Of course, you wouldn't want to eat that, but it's not like it was poison.
どうする？美薬とか入ってたら。
What kind of aphrodisiac would hold hold up after you put it in a donut. Cuphead's laughed and offered me the pastry, but I suddenly refused it.
いいから食べなさいよ。
Yeah, I don't know if I would eat it after you saying that it might be poisoned or I have something in it. Like, who knows? Wasn't hungry to begin with. Now that's my appetite even more.
部長命令。
Absolutely refuse.
口移しなら
I will eat every last bite. Just kidding.
今迷ったほら歯型程度ならつけてあげるから口移しドーナツでいいじゃない
You're just the lewd friend. You're not even gonna take a whole bite, and if it's not that I'd want it after it's been in your mouth either. I'd rather it end up like the Pocky game.
よしその仕組みなら食べるのね
No.
また迷ったつまりもう一押し
How serious was she? Even so, in the end, neither of us budged an inch. Maybe she was trying to cheer me up inside since I seemed down. If I thought of it like that, then we could just tie this up as a heartwarming little episode. So let's go with that. Sure, why not? Alright, I think we're gonna end it here, because I was kind of expecting something big to happen within the first hour. Nothing seems to have happened yet. So I'm going to assume it's a little bit more ways into the story, which I'm okay with. Like I said, I like something that necessarily takes some time to build up because I think it makes it more worth it in the end. But I want to not make this episode too long. This is the first episode. This is an introduction to the game, and I want to, you know, just get my feet wet right now before I really like get into the stuff that makes you want to dive in all the way. So I think we'll leave it here. This is mostly just kind of getting to know the characters. I'm actually surprised by how much this is just kind of like, I don't know, softly putting us in there. It's nothing like is too like crazy. There was nothing like too lewd yet so far. I'm actually really surprised by that. I was expecting something to a lot more lewd to happen here, but I'm okay with that. I'm not complaining by any means. So we're just gonna end it here, and this is my introduction to Hapymaher. And I'm looking forward to getting to know more of the characters. I like the cast so far. It seems pretty strong. And hopefully it just continues to get stronger as we meet a few of the other people. But anyways, guys, appreciate it, and I shall see you in the next episode. Have a good one.